Hey, interior design is all about taste, right? We all have our favorite styles, colors, and textures, and that's what really matters when choosing things for our homes. But some choices just age better than others, and there are a few design elements that to me just scream outdated. Hey, if you love the items I'm about to mention, awesome. Keep loving them. No offense, I'm just one person giving her opinion on the internet, okay? Alright, let's get into my list of 5 things that may be making your home look dated. Okay, I think this might be an unpopular opinion, but I have to talk about wood slat panels. Now, I don't think they look bad or dated per se. In fact, in the right space, they can be an amazing way to add visual interest and texture to walls. This wall finish became popular with the rise of the Japandi style, which is a mix of Japanese and Scandinavian design elements to create that warm and inviting interior, which I absolutely love. But I feel it started to get a little out of hand when people started using it in absolutely every room, regardless of style. In the past few years, it became the go-to wall finish for accent walls in dining rooms, living rooms, bedrooms, home offices, and everything in between. How many times have you seen a TV wall like this one? So in my opinion, when something is so heavily used, it is bound to become dated sometime later. It kind of becomes a feature of a specific era, you know? So here's my verdict for this one. I'll continue to find it beautiful in interiors that use it intentionally to create that Japandi/organic modern aesthetic. But for all others, I think it's a matter of time for all those accent walls to become dated in very early 2020s. So if I had to choose, I would go with something different that still adds texture and visual interest. Like wall moldings, smooth wood panels, mirrors, or just simple paint. In fact, I love this effect of mixing 2 slightly different shades of the same color to create this beautiful dimension for the walls, just like lime wash. These are much more timeless options in my opinion, and some of them can be even less expensive than wood slat panels. Okay, let's talk about geometric prints. Around the early to mid 2010s, these were the modern look. I'm talking chevrons, sharp hexagons, oversized triangles, high contrast diamond patterns. You'd see them everywhere. On rugs, curtains, bedding, throw pillows, even entire feature walls done in black and white or colorful geometrics. At the time, it felt fresh and geometric. In my first apartment, I had a rug just like this one, and stripes painted on the walls, and I absolutely loved it. But now, these bold geometric prints feel so tied to that specific era that they can make a home feel frozen in that time. To me, they kind of feel connected with the everything mustache movement. Remember when everything used to have mustache prints in it? Oh my god, what were we thinking? Okay, so the main issue is that those patterns are so bold and repetitive that they kind of dominate the entire room. They're hard to mix with other patterns. It can be tricky to pair them with natural material, and they leave little breathing space for the eye. So instead of becoming a stylish accent, they kind of become the whole style of the room. Which means as soon as the trend goes on, the whole space feels outdated. So here's how I would update those. If you still love geometric shapes, get them. But try to look for softer, less rigid interpretations. Instead of perfect machine-cut lines, try hand-drawn or brush stroke style patterns that feel more organic. Think of irregular hexagons or triangles, circles that aren't perfectly round, stuff like that. You can also switch to tone-on-tone or lower contrast patterns. For example, I love checkered patterns, but I rarely incorporate pure black and white checkered stuff into my home. I usually look for pieces with less contrast but still with that checkered pattern. Rather, I look for combinations like beige and brown, which feel softer and can be more easily paired with other colors or patterns. When I do choose black and white checkered stuff, they are usually small accents, like the coasters that I have in my living room. Also, if you prefer more colorful interiors, you can look for colorful geometric rugs and use the colors on the rug as the starting point for the color palette of the entire room. But let's say you already have a large, bold geometric piece, like a striped rug, for instance. You can try layering another rug on top of it, like a jute rug, to soften the look and make it feel more current. The key is to let the geometric pieces support your design and not become like the whole statement. When they are more subtle, they can be powerful additions to create interest and contrast in a space. Hey, let me tell you about something that I know for a fact will never grow out of style: being a productive and organized human being. Look, I'm a pretty organized person myself, but after I started working with content creation and design, I started to get overwhelmed by all the ideas and honestly all the tasks that I had to deal with. And here's how the sponsor of today's video, Akiflow, comes in. Akiflow is the ultimate productivity tool designed for busy professionals. No, honestly, I didn't know I needed a productivity tool until I started using it. So Akiflow helps tremendously with something called time blocking. Here's how it works. So here on the left, I have a list of tasks that I need to work on in the next couple of weeks. And on the right, I have my calendar, which is already integrated with the Google Calendar. Now, every Sunday, I plan my week. So I come here and I simply drag and drop tasks to assign them to specific time slots during the week. So I know what I have to do and when I have to do them. And once I finish a task, I can simply come here and mark it as done, which is super satisfying. And you see these little icons here next to some of my tasks. They have been imported from other tools that I also use, like Notion and Gmail. Akiflow offers a wide range of integrations, so it actually centralizes all your tasks in one single space, which is just amazing. And on top of all that, their AI copilot will help you get even more productive. So, for example, I go to the gym every weekday, so I can ask the copilot to add a recurring event on my calendar, so I don't use this time slot for any other task. But this is just a simple use case. The possibilities are endless. And hey, I know that learning how to use a new tool can be challenging. So Akiflow offers a one-on-one onboarding call where a real person will help you get started, so you can start using the platform as effectively as possible. I genuinely use the tool every single day and I'm very excited to share it with you. So if that all sounds good to you, use the link in the description, try Akiflow, and enhance your productivity. And thank you Akiflow for sponsoring this video. Subway tile is one of the most timeless design elements ever. It's been around for over a century. It started in the early 1900s in, you guessed it, subway stations. And people loved it because it was clean, simple, and easy to maintain. So over the decades, its use became popular in homes. And you started to see it used in bathrooms, kitchens, laundry rooms, everywhere. But sometime around the mid-2010s, a very specific version of it took over Pinterest and Instagram. White subway tile paired with black grout. It was bold and felt very industrial coffee shop at the time. Then suddenly it started to appear in every single HDTV rental show and took over bathrooms and kitchens everywhere, basically. And just like wood slats, when a classic gets a very specific twist, and that twist explodes in popularity, it stops feeling timeless and starts feeling like a staple of that specific time. That's exactly what happened here, in my opinion. Now, the white subway tile with black grout combo reads like a timestamp of that 2015 to 2017 time period. And because it was everywhere, today we kind of recognize it as that era's Pinterest kitchen or bathroom look. So here's what I do instead. If you love subway tile, try softer grout colors. Warm grays or beiges still define the tile, but create a gentler, less harsh look that's easier on the eyes. You can also consider other tile shapes. Instead of the classic 3x6 rectangle, try a square tile, or a long, skinny rectangle, or even handmade look tiles with slight regularities. These instantly feel more current while keeping that clean, tiled look. For a modern, calm aesthetic, match the color of the tile to the color of the grout. White on white, cream on cream, or even colorful options can create a seamless, spa-like backdrop that doesn't fight for attention. If replacing tile isn't an option, I believe there are grout colorant products that allow you to change the color of the grout without retiling. It's a bit of work, but much cheaper than redoing the whole thing. So overall, it's not that black grout is bad. It can still work for some specific spaces. But because it's so linked to that specific design wave, to me, having this combination in your house makes it feel dated. Now, I'm not a brass person, okay? I have and will always prefer chrome finishes. I think they are easier to work with and fit my style best overall. But that doesn't mean I can't appreciate the beauty of real brass. It's one of those materials that can look stunning in so many different settings. In a traditional home, it can bring a sense of history and warmth. In a modern home, brushed brass can feel sleek and luxurious. And real brass actually gets better over time. It develops what we call a patina, little variations in tone and a richness that tells a story. But that overly yellow, shiny brass, dated. And I feel like it's in its second wave of datedness, because I see it both in older homes and newer homes. To me, it just looks super generic. Doorknobs, cabinet pulls, light fixtures, bathroom faucets. And to me, what's even worse, furniture and decor. I personally cannot stand a brass coffee table with a glass tabletop, or any variation of it for that matter. But the problem isn't the brass. It's the fake stuff, that cheap imitation. This type of fake brass is usually just a thin metallic coating over another metal, sealed with a thick lacquer. That lacquer locks in the color permanently, so it never develops any patina or softness. It stays exactly the same highlighter yellow tone forever, which unfortunately means that it will never develop any character and it starts to feel a little dated and inexpensive. Again, it's not about the age, it's about the era. Certain finishes are so closely linked to a very specific time period that when we see it, our brains kinda timestamp the whole room. Yellow fake brass is one of those for me. So if you love brass, I would say go for the real thing if your budget allows. If not, you may want to incorporate real brass in smaller details like decorative objects and use another finish for most of your hardware like matte black or brushed nickel. Oh, but Maria, I love the look of aged brass. Then try to look for pieces that have that look and not those overly yellow ones. If you have those gold yellow pieces in your home and you're not ready to let them go yet, I would say it's better to get a spray paint, like a matte black spray paint that's suitable for metal, and paint over them. To me, at least, this would be a better alternative than having those gold yellow fake looking pieces, but that's just me. You do you. Alright, let's talk about bulky dining chairs. I feel like those had a real moment in mid-2000s to early 2010s, especially those big, fully upholstered Parson chairs. The tufted ones are especially bad. Oh my god. But the problem is that they take up a lot of space, both physical and visual, in smaller dining rooms. And let's be real, most of us do not have large dining halls in our homes. They can make the whole area feel cramped and crowded. There's also the style aspect. Bulky chairs tend to read as more formal and traditional, which doesn't always match with the more mixed materials and styles that are more popular today. So even if the rest of your dining room is well designed and feels modern and fresh, those bulky dining chairs will drag it down and pull the room back in time visually. Of course, this is not true for every single dining room, okay? There are incredibly well-designed ones that use fully upholstered chairs. But in my opinion, this is more of an exception than a rule, and the whole design plan has to make sense in order for them to look good. So here's my take. Go for slimmer profiles that still offer comfort. Look for chairs with cushioned seats but open legs and backs. These give you the comfort without the bulk. You can also mix chair styles for that more casual look. For example, you could keep 2 upholstered chairs at the ends of the table and switch the other chairs to lighter wooden or metal frames. This instantly opens up the space and adds visual interest. If replacing isn't in the budget, you might want to consider reupholstering those chairs. Choosing a more sophisticated fabric like linen or a mix of linen and cotton will make them look better. Or even switching to a lighter tone of fabric like beige will instantly elevate the look of the room and make them feel less heavy visually. So although I do think that this type of chair will always have its place in very specific applications, I will always prefer solid wood ones with more open frames. To me, they simply look better and will most likely never go out of style. Alright, so this was my list of 5 things that may be making your home look dated. So what did you think about all of these items? Do you agree with me? Do let me know in the comments, even if you don't. If you enjoyed this video, you may want to watch this one next. Oh, and before you do that, don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel to see more content like this. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.